Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you to another global address, another radio Biafra transmission, live and direct to the entirety of humanity on this very day. Today is the first day of the week, Sunday, the 14th of April in the year of our Most High Elohim 2019, with the time now standing at precisely a minute past the top of the hour here. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because wherever you are across the entire 24 time zones of the world, you are receiving and listening to this very live broadcast. You can listen to Radio Biafra on any of our FM relay stations in Biafra land if you're fortunate enough to live close by. You can also get us on our Radio Biafra app, which is on Android store. You can also receive Radio Biafra on satellite. Like every major broadcaster, we are on satellite. Radio Biafra is also on www.radiobiafra.co. That is our main platform. That is where we have always been, and that is where we will continue to be. We welcome you wherever you are, because this is your radio station where the news is not only read but interpreted to the understanding of those who may be intellectually or academically challenged. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and by the very special grace of Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, I welcome you, and I will also ask you to welcome all the people. There are those who are seeking to join us in this broadcast this very evening. I ask you to please reach out to them and direct them how they can receive and participate and also partake in this very broadcast. And as usual, I will ask you to get your pen and your paper, because here we educate, here we refine, and also here we enlighten. If you don't have your pen and paper, you have a lot to miss. And as always, because this is also a tutorial, this is a lecture. Those in Asorok are welcome to listen. Also, those that claim they occupy the corridors of the legal profession in the damnable zoological republic, those who do not understand the law, those who do not understand the law, all of them are welcome to listen to us this very evening, because here we will educate the Nigerian judges. Here we will tutor those who are legal practitioners. Here we will tell them what they do not know about themselves and about the laws that they have made for themselves. But before we continue, we must call upon the Most High, Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai, the creator and the giver of life, because this is what we do. We must worship Chukwokika Biama. We must praise him. We must adore him, because he is the one that ordained this very effort that we are making to restore his kingdom upon the face of the earth. That there is nothing any mortal flesh can do. They will try, but they will always fail. Any effort, any attempt to denigrate, any attempt to subvert the will of the Most High will only lift us up. There is nothing our enemies can do, I can assure you. We are here to restore Biafra in truth and in every honesty, because we are pure, whiter than white and whiter than snow. We stand on that very proclamation until this very effort is crowned with the glory that it deserves. For we are the children of light. We speak and we propagate the truth. And that truth is what has been setting us free. This evening, we are going to pray to commit our proceedings into the loving arms of Elohim, to guide and to sustain us, because we are nothing without him. Only him made Biafra. Only him determined that we should come, because there is no other. And now that we're here, after this very phase in our history, no other people will be like us will ever come. It will only be us. Only this very generation of IPOB. The very best of the very best. The salt of the earth itself. Only us can restore Biafra. There is no other person, no other group, no other human being has the mandate to restore Biafra, because it is divine. That is why anything we say comes to pass. And if open such that is why the zoo is in turmoil. Because I said with the truth, they will be destroyed. Those that doubted us before are now turning around to see it. Because our mission is ordained by heaven itself. I do not claim to be a prophet. It is what I speak that displays it. The words I utter on this hallowed platform, anytime I sit down on this chair, behind this microphone, anything I say comes to pass. Because I'm under divine instruction from heaven itself and not man. It's not something you claim. It's something that happens. Anything we say comes to pass. There is nothing enemies can do. We must pray. Because the zoo will fall to pieces. It will disintegrate. All the deals they made in the dead of the night to try to subvert the will of the Almighty Creator that Biafra must be restored will be laid bare. They will destroy themselves, I assure you. No amount of deal can save them. Nothing whatsoever. Anybody who stands against Biafra will fall. We must pray. We must bow down our heads wherever we are. I pray, oh, as I do always, from the Psalm of David. When I was in detention, when I was in prison, this is the prayer that I used to pray all the time. But this evening I will pray it, because our enemies tried some few days ago and they failed spectacularly as always. And they will always fail. Because I never asked myself to come. Chukwokika Biama asked me to come. I never wanted to do this very work. I never wanted to. But Elohim said I must do it. That is why I'm here. And we must pray. The very ancient of the ancient, the oldest people to walk the face of this very earth. But for the benefit of the listening audience all over the world, I will pray in English. O Elohim, we give thee praise and adoration. We present Biafra before thee. We ask that you may sanctify IPOB, that this very work that only thee has decreed must be done, that your children may be set free, that we will be worthy to carry it out to its logical conclusion. Therefore, Chukwokika Biama, how are they that have increased that trouble your children? How many of them that rise up against us? There are many that say of us that there is no help for us in God. But they are lying, because you are our rock and our shield. Only the Elohim. You are the lifter of our spirit and our head. You are our glory. We cried unto thee the same way that I cry unto thee every blessed day, and you heard our cries from your holy hill. Don't chase again, so you will not Unto thy hands have we committed our spirit. Every day we call upon thee. We go to bed and we rise. Some do not rise, but those of us who are lucky to be alive in the land of the living, those of us in IPOB must always adore thee in truth and in every honesty, because we do not worship idol. Anything that is fashioned by hand, I cannot bow before. Only the Elohim is worthy of praise and adoration. Therefore, we will not be afraid. As they rise, they must fall. As they rise against IPOB, they will fall. As they rise against Biafra, they will fall. There will be confusion and shame amongst them. Those that set themselves against the children of the Most High, arise, O Elohim, to save your children. Save Biafra. Save IPOB, because you are our creator. For thou hast destroyed the handiwork of the enemy. You have stricken them down. They thought they were setting a trap for us, but into that trap have they stepped onto. You have struck them down. You have knocked their teeth from their mouth because they are ungodly. Those of them in the zoo are ungodly. Evil people, that is why there is darkness everywhere. Nothing they do ever works. You will deliver your children. No matter how we have offended thee, you will forgive us our trespasses, and you will lead us into your light and everlasting grace. Because salvation is yours and yours alone. And unto thee do we offer every adoration and every praise. And your blessing will be upon IPOB. For as long as man lives on this very earth, as long as a child is born of Biafran descent, they will remember the sacrifice of this very age. The same way Israel remembers the exodus from Egypt, so shall it be remembered forever and ever. Because you're Elohim. Only thee is worthy. Accept our humble prayers this evening, that your name may be adored by your children all over the world, those who are listening and those who are infirmed and not able to. Let every adoration belong unto thee. Chineke nna nke bi n'ime igwe. Ugbu a ma ruo mgbe niile ebighị ebi ka anyị na-arịọ gị. Ise. We must proceed very hastily to deal with the issues of tonight, because they are very compelling. Those of them that said they don't listen to Radio Biafra, those that called us miscreants, those that called us touts, now they depend on the lectures that we deliver. They depend on the tutorial that we offer. They depend on the address we give them to formulate their reasoning, to be able to articulate their thoughts properly. Because we are blessed in every way. I am not a lawyer. I am not an expert in any jurisprudence. But when I sit down here, anytime I call upon the grace of heaven, Chukwokika Biama always puts his words in my mouth that his gospel may be preached to the children of men. That is why we are here. It has been raging on all fronts. We must get our facts right this very evening. It is not disputable that on the 11th of February 1961, a plebiscite was held in the British Cameroons to determine which part of that very territory will remain with Nigeria or will go to the Cameroons. A lot of Fulani people in the northeast of present-day Nigeria, of which Atiku Abubakar and his family is part of, decided to vote to remain or be part of Nigeria. Those in the south, especially our Amazonian brethren, they decided to be part of Cameroon. On the 1st of October of 1961, this is not in doubt, Southern Cameroon, our people in Amazonia, became officially a part of Cameroon. The present-day Adamawa state that you're looking at was part of former Cameroon. I am taking this lecture this evening sequentially that the world may understand. There's a lot of confusion. People don't go to school in the zoo. Their brains are blocked. They don't reason properly. They don't reason properly. That is the problem with Nigeria. People don't reason. They are not analytical. They are not critical. They are not discerning. They are not investigative. They don't do any of those. But here we bring back their senses to normal. We want to build a case this very evening that the world may understand. We want to slowly and gradually set out what is playing out in the tribunal, where a Sudanese man, Jubil al-Sudani, imported by Abakari, came to the zoo called Nigeria. People that claim they are PhD holders stupidly and gullibly swallowed the junk fed to them by Tinubu's newspapers. That this is Buhari. They are in a tribunal. But we are here to explain the laws of the zoo. I am here to educate Binta Nyako, the entire NJC, the entire bench in Nigeria, as to what the law says about Atiku Abubakar that they don't know. I will tell them. And I derive everything that I say this evening from their own constitution. The problem you have in Nigeria is that people are lazy, mentally lazy. Fulani way of life, mentally lazy. They don't reason very well. INEC is the root cause of this very problem. INEC is the problem. And I will prove to you why. Both INEC, your so-called useless National Assembly, useless to the core, who did not have the courage to amend the constitution, they put Atiku Abubakar in this mess. Not Atiku Abubakar, no. They put him in this mess. Some of you don't know that those of us born in Biafra between 67 and 70, do you know that none of you can contest for the presidency of Nigeria? But we'll get to that later. And I'll prove it to you with facts and figures using the zoo constitution. So I strongly suggest that as you get your pen and paper this evening, you also get a copy or make reference to a copy of the zoo constitution because it is there. I will be referencing it this very evening as we proceed because the grammar is very simple. The English is pedestrian, very, very mundane. It's not difficult. It's not convoluted. It is not complex. Very plain, simple English. And then you will see why the zoo will implode before our eyes. Because if Atiku doesn't pursue the fact that Jubril is from Sudan, others will. I said I would destroy Nigeria with the truth. They thought it was a joke. Oh, leave him. He's for fame. He wants to be famous. He's an opportunist. An opportunist is now educating the entire judiciary in Nigeria. The so-called senior advocates will listen to Radio Biafra, lift everything I say here to go and depose before a judge in a court of law. And the Master Hagra school. And I didn't even read law for information. I read political economics. For your information, I did not read law. Imagine if I had read law. My goodness. We must proceed. The Adamawa region you're looking at today, from which they carved out Adamawa state, was part of Cameroon before. That is the truth. You know the Lamido of Adamawa. You know the area, the Lamido. You know all the Adamawa people. They have relatives in Cameroon today answering Adamawa. Write all these things down on a piece of paper and follow it sequentially. Not when you come to social media. No, I think he was the president, vice president for 8 years because of that. You are arguing like a blind person, an untutored soul. Here we will educate you. I'm learned. Why won't I be proud? I am learned. Now you see why they cannot debate me. You see when I tell you they cannot last with me in a debate. Some of you think I'm joking. You can understand why. Because they don't know their own laws. They don't. Secession is a crime. A judge in a court of law. For Biafra, you are carrying Biafra flag. Because of that, you're seceding. It's a crime. It is double felony. A judge in a court of law. A judge. Learned illiterates. They are all of them. Atiku's hometown is Jada. In Ghana, or whatever they call it. And as some people wrote, is the headquarters of the British Cameroons. But some of you stupidly and mistakenly is not arguing the right things you should argue. I am trying to educate the lawyers of Atiku what they should say in the tribunal. I want to educate the lawyers of Atiku because they don't know what to say. I will educate them tonight. You don't go to argue that the man was Nigeria's vice president who has lived and paid the tax. He was a controller of customs and rubbish. The Constitution of Nigeria says you have to be Nigerian by birth. Stop arguing like, I don't want to insult wheelbarrow pushers because they're very, very intelligent. Don't debate like a fool. Argue intelligently. And I will give you free advice, free legal advice on air tonight. How to tackle this very issue. Because some of the lawyers they are using are completely hopeless and useless. Never go to the tribunal to argue that Atiku was VP for 8 years. He was controller of customs. That is not the issue. The Constitution says by birth. Go back to it and win your case from there. Not coming to argue he was a VP for 8 years. The Constitution says if you want to be the president, not vice, if you want to be the president of Nigeria, you must be born inside Nigeria, of Nigerian parentage by birth, a Nigerian. Go back there. That is where the key lies. To claim Atiku's stolen mandate, not in the rubbish you're arguing. But I will tell you that later on, how you're going to do it and win this very simple case. But let us continue. Because this evening we are going to educate the people. I want everybody to turn to section 131 of the Constitution of the damnable Zoological Republic. So some of you have it in chapters. Go to chapter 6. VI is 6 up here. V is 5, is it? V is 5, VI is 6. It is written the executive. Part 1 says federal executive. And the A of it says the president of the federation. I am reading the Zoo Constitution. It says here, there shall be for the president, for the federation, there shall be for the federation a president. The president shall be the head of state, the chief executive. I'm reading from the Constitution of Nigeria, please. Not what I made up. The president shall be the head of state, the chief executive of the federation, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the federation. Now listen carefully. Section 131 says, a person shall be qualified, listen carefully, is English language. Once they use the word qualified, it means you must, M-U-S-T, you must have this before you are considered to even run for the office of the president. Understand this very simply. Qualified, that's what it means. It didn't say you have to be customs controller for 8 years. You have to be VP for 100 years. No, rubbish. For you to qualify to vie for the office of the president or to be eligible to serve as the head of state of the zoo. Listen carefully to A, section 131A, Constitution of Nigeria. It says, he is a citizen of Nigeria by birth. By birth. Citizen of Nigeria by birth. At the time that the mother is giving birth to this man or woman that wants to be the president of Nigeria, you have to be a Nigerian citizen. Very simple and short, open and short case. It never said you have to be controller of customs for 50 years, paying your taxes, vice president for 99 years. Bunkum. It says here, a citizen of Nigeria by birth. Simple English. He has attained the age of 40 years and is a member of a political party. He's been educated to school certificate level, which Buhari never had, and Jubilee doesn't have. We'll get to that later. Because the lawyers representing Atiku don't know what they're doing, honestly speaking. You can get to truncate Jubilee is in the Constitution, section 131D. Very simple. 131D. He has to be educated to at least school certificate level or its equivalent. Buhari never had it. Rather than running around saying, oh, he went to moms, he went to all the shot, he went to this, that rubbish. It says you must have school certificate. Where is it? And they go and forge one nonsense and bring. And Tinubu's Nation newspaper and Yoruba papers, they will take money from every writing. Oh, don't ask him. He has a certificate. And let me tell Atiku's team of lawyers what to do this night. I want you to subpoena the head of WAEC under oath. Let him come and testify that the result of the president is that of the late Buhari, and you win your case hands down. If they kill the man or woman tonight, you go and subpoena the deputy. If they go and forge any result on any paper, believe you me, there is a test you can do on any paper, carbon dating, that tells you the date the paper was manufactured. So they cannot rig it. Listen carefully, please. If you are representing Atiku, or you are one of those that support him, this is how you win your case. Very simple. Don't go to this tribunal arguing like a baby. Simply say to them, Buhari, in whose name Jubril contested, doesn't have a school certificate. If they argue and bring one useless paper, simply subpoena under the force of law, compel the head of WAEC to come to the tribunal to testify under oath. Oath means if he or she lies, they will go to prison. For free, it's for free. I'm not going to charge anybody for it. We are IPOB. We love everybody. We only hate darkness and iniquity. Subpoena WAEC chief to come to the tribunal to testify under oath. Once they do that, is game over. But INEC went to this tribunal to say, we are satisfied with Buhari's WAEC result. INEC, you are not WAEC. With all due respect, you are not WAEC. So you cannot certify anything. Let us call WAEC, they are not dead. Let them come and testify. And I'm going to go about go. Oh, IPOB, they are miscreants. Don't follow Nnamdi Kanu. He doesn't know. I told you so. We are more learned than all of you put together. I swear to heaven. I want you to know, man. Only if you know what we know. If we have Biafra within 2 years, there'll be reverse migration. You will be begging to come. You will beg. You will crawl under the wall. It's not. Will not be like Trump saying we will build wall. We will build our own. Both electric fence, police dog. You can't come in. Children of darkness. We continue. This is contained on page 50 of your constitution. What I've just told you. This thing has been here for many years. And the dead Buhari was contesting election after election, no certificate. Nobody dared to say, this is what INEC, this is the constitution is the highest law in the land. I said highest. There is nothing Supreme Court can do about it. All they can do is to interpret. They cannot change it. It will take an act of parliament for the National Assembly by 2/3 majority in both houses to vote, I believe, to amend the constitution. As long as it has not been amended, and as long as there is no certificate for Jubril, for the dead Buhari, he cannot be sworn into office. That is what the law of the land says. This section of the Nigerian constitution is clearly defective. And I'll tell you why. About this, you have to be born in Nigeria. Very defective. And I want to prove to you this evening that when I say they do copy and paste, some of you don't understand. The law, do you know why they don't know laws in Nigeria? Because all they do is they hear one sweet law in England, they copy and they paste. They go to America, they copy and they paste. They don't ask themselves, do we have the ability to be disciplined enough to adhere to these rules and laws that we're putting down on paper? This section of the Zoo Constitution here, section 30, it is 131, isn't it? Section 131 of the Nigerian Constitution, 131. Bracket A. He is a citizen of Nigeria by birth. You must be, is wrong, fundamentally flawed. They did not take into account that there is no country called Nigeria, that Nigeria was just a simple company, limited liability company. Royal Niger company, which they converted into a country. As Awolowo famously said, is a contraption, a mere geographical expression. It doesn't mean anything. But they were afraid that if they don't put it in here, somehow people will know that Nigeria doesn't exist. It's fraud. It's a fake. It's a British colonial disaster. Do you know what they did? Those that Abdul Salami Abubakar asked to go and write the constitution, you know what they did? They simply ran to, you know, US is beautiful. If you go there to New York or high-rise building, you know, they collect, you know, Jerry can. That's what they used to go and collect fizzy drink, Coke. That small Coke you drink, 30 cl. If you go to a Burger King or they put in your bucket, you Jerry can. Drink as much as you like. So when they go there to stock funds they have stolen from the people, from the national treasury, they see it and they think, oh, maybe if we copy and paste their laws without the discipline that should go with it, maybe when I wake up in the morning, I'll see skyscrapers outside. They don't know the world doesn't function that way. This part of the constitution is clearly defective because Abdul Salami Abubakar is a military man, not a constitutional expert, not a politician, and not a philosopher. You don't know, before you can write constitution, you have to be a philosopher. You have to think about the people, what they want, how best to get the best out of them. When we say it in our local adage, people don't know what it means. You write your constitution to suit your circumstances, to bring out the best in your people. That is why China can run a communist system as a political system, but run free market economy. China were the first people to try it. They said, no, we are not going to dabble into democracy yet, but we want all the trappings, all the good life that free market economy can bring. That is why China is an anomaly. When we're going to school, we are told that socialism and capitalism is a dichotomy. They can never. These are two parallel lines of thought. They can never merge together. China said no. In America, democracy can work for you, but here in China, please, it won't work. But we will allow free market economy. Now you understand what it means. But in the zoo, Abro Salami Abubakar was busy stealing money. That man is a rogue. Stealing money, looting cash. As they were scrambling. This same Tinubu that ran away from Nigeria. All of them in Nadokra ran away. All of them ran away from Nigeria. No, they didn't come for the arrest, or they just disappeared. Through Cotonou. They said, don't worry, give us any constitution you like. They merely, in a hurry, copied the American Constitution, the part that says you have to be born on U.S. soil before you can be president of USA. They just copied it. Here, that is why when people argue foolishly that Atiku was the controller of customs and vice president, but that is not the point. Where was he born? At the time that the mother gave birth to him, which citizenship did he have? Very simple question. And I would have no, not at all. What the plagiarists did, they just simply plagiarized. Now you can understand when I say they're not learned. Forget all the PhD, CCD, FFT, rubbish. They went to American Constitution and copied it, without knowing that America emerged organically. The Puritans left on a ship called Mary Rose from Southampton in England. They settled in a place called New England. They wanted to found a new society, a repudiation of European repressive, feudal, monarchical system. But they tell you that PhD, I'm a political scientist, but what I'm saying now, they don't know it. America was founded organically. That is why they are mostly Baptist Protestants, not Catholic. It's not a Catholic country. Because they clearly defined the value system they wanted to pursue. You that is half Alimajiri, half Yoruba monarchy, and half Republicans we have in the East, the Biafrans. You lump everybody together and say you must be born a Nigerian before you come. Are you not stupid? You know what they did? To show you that they don't love Nigeria. They never bothered to study the implications of the junk that they copied from other people. They never bothered. They just went ahead and said, oh, let's put it together. We are one Nigeria. Let's go ahead. The chicken has come home to roost. What's it to go now? And you think, people think this is a joke. Nobody can get out of this. There is no forging of this very issue. It must be resolved one way or the other. When I did my broadcast about Atiku's nationality, I did it. And I said, there was a caveat. I said, if the National Assembly of the Zoo called Nigeria is sensible enough, they will invoke the doctrine of necessity. They will amend the constitution before the presidential election. But they said no. Do you know that being the vice president of Nigeria, customs controller, does not require you to be a Nigerian by birth? The only thing that requires you to be is the office of the president. Simple and short. In the US, you can be a 10-time US senator. You can be Secretary of State, all you like, Chief of Defense. Once you step out to say, I am contesting, make sure you have your birth certificate with you, that it reads USA, place of birth, either Wyoming, Utah, or Hawaii, in the case of Obama. They say, Obama is an African. You see how foolish they are. Obama was born in Hawaii, a U.S. territory, on U.S. soil. Do you understand English? Oh, dear me. I was born a Biafran. I cannot contest for the presidency of Nigeria. And God forbid, I will never. I don't even dream about it. I have never dreamt about it before. Even if you give me for free, I will not take. But I'm just reminding all of you e-rats, hoping that one day I'm a Biafran. Even some of you that say that you're from Niger Delta, also if you're born between 67 and 70, you cannot be the president of Nigeria because your birth certificate reads Biafra. We must continue. This controversial insertion of you must be a Nigerian by birth entered into the Constitution of Nigeria as a direct result of copy and paste, plagiarism, copyright infringement. Because the great USA Constitution says a person must be born on US soil to be president. Those that claim they wrote the Constitution of Nigeria simply did copy and paste. They come out to say that they are legal luminaries. Then you have seen the mess they put everybody in. What is happening now is not Atiku's fault. And it's up to them how they want to rectify it. But as I said, I'll give them my advice for free if they can follow it. Had the Constitution of Nigeria been written by the people, they lied and said, we the people is a lie. Had it been written by the people, it would have been highlighted during the draft stage that Nigeria is only a mere geographic expression, no? As I will always said, not a nation. So when I'm saying by birth, be very careful. After all, some people joined us in 1961 and some people seceded for 3 years. Had it been a constitution of the people, when you're drafting it, people will bring in ideas from everywhere. But it is not. It is Abdul Salami Abubakar's constitution, not a constitution of the people. Now you have seen it. When people were campaigning, telling them that the constitution is defective, they didn't want to listen. They never wanted to listen that the constitution is defective. They don't want, nobody, it is, hey, I'm going into office, you want to spoil my show, it's my turn, you want to change constitution. That's why I said that they copy what other people write, but without the discipline to go with it. Before you put traffic light now, people must be willing to obey it. Is that it right? People are zooming all over the place. So they don't bother. This is what's happening in Africa. I read the other day. Do you know that it is against African laws for you to deport anybody from one African country to the other? You don't know that. That's a topic for another day. But we'll get to it. All of us with Biafra on our birth certificate. Forget it. One Nigeria. You cannot contest for the presidency of Nigeria. Go and read the law. Go and read the constitution again. It is by birth. INEC on its own, you see that Mumu they call Yakubu. INEC on its own is the most foolish organization ever. Foolish and hopeless. Of course, it's run by a Fulani man. What do you expect? Look at all the parastatals they run. How hopeless it is. Fulani people, useless and hopeless, is because of Yoruba cowardice. Yoruba, when, hi, of course, there are brave men in Yoruba land. They're very brave, but very few. Very few. This is the damage that the conquest of a Lauren is having on the psyche of the average Yoruba man. They see Fulanis as their lord. That cannot be challenged. They are mortified. They are frightened of Fulani. That's why I said no. Our people cannot follow them. We cannot follow them. It's impossible. Listen carefully, please. Atiku Abubakar was born on November 25, 1946 in Jada. This is in Adamawa State. It was part of northern Cameroon. He only became a citizen of Nigeria by plebiscite. That was the point I was making. But because Yoruba media, they have this hatred for the name Nnamdi Kanu, they don't want to hear it. When I said it, they quoted me out of context that I said that Atiku Abubakar is not a Nigerian. I was merely referring to his Cameroonian citizenship at birth. to highlight the point that he became a Nigerian by referendum. And as such, I, as a Biafran, born as a Biafran, I want a place beside the same way that Atiku had to determine if I want to be part of Nigeria or not. Very simple, logical argument that I made. Yoruba twisted it. Oh, he said Buhari is dead. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu is mad. Oh, he said that Atiku Abubakar is not coming. Some idiots, you are laughing, as usual. But you remember what I keep saying to all of you. In the end, we always win. Remember that. It doesn't matter the storms gathering today. Gossipers jumping all over the place. Those who are jealous of the beauty of my wife, all over the place. It doesn't matter what they do. In the end, we always win. This IPOB will always win. Understand that. If you have that at the back of your mind, you will have no fear. As I do. I have no fear. I am a Biafran, born a Biafran. Atiku is a Cameroonian. He was born a Cameroonian, but now he's a Nigerian. And I'm saying, give me the same latitude you offered to Adamawa people. Give it to Biafrans. We that we are born. If not for any other thing. For those 3 years. You're telling me no, you won't do it. You are Nigerian. Who told you so? So why didn't you go and take Adamawa then and say Adamawa is Nigeria? Why did you have to ask them? British had all the power and the might in the world to do whatever they like. Why do you think Britain bothered to ask the people of Adamawa, where do you want to belong? Talk less of you bunch of African monkeys swinging from one tree to the other. Monkey, come and chop banana. Idiots who cannot reason. If the white man can give referendum in those days in 1961 to Adamawa people, who the hell are you people in Asorok not to give referendum to Biafra? Are you mad? Are you insane? Now you understand my point. This information I'm bringing to you has always been in the public domain. It's not hidden. What I did was simply to flag it, to prove to the world that the agitation for Biafra is legal, that referendum is not terrorism. What is terrorism is what the whole of Fulani people are, all of them are terrorists, all of them, from top to bottom. They are murderers and they are killers. If they don't kill with their trailer, they kill you with their bombs and their AK-47. If not that, they kill you with their cattle. Tell me where there's no war. You see, I used to pray all the time, and some of you can remember. Can any of you here remember when I used to say that those that fought Biafra will be destroyed? Chukwu Abia will destroy them. Let me tell you something. You see the wars going on in Zamfara and all the rest of them, and the banditry in the north, it will never, ever go away. Because when Nnamdi Azikiwe advised them to allow their children to go to school, they refused. Anywhere in the world, you have this level of carnage and primitive savagery. It is usually within a population that is not educated. And it can never go away till the end of time. So that is why I am very, very happy. Biafra is coming because they will destroy themselves. Even in the north, they will. As I'm speaking, write it down. Anything I say here is gospel. Write it down on the piece of. They will destroy themselves. They will kill themselves in the north. I'm not talking about the tribunal because they can settle. They can share money amongst themselves and settle. That's what they're going to do. They'll give money to Atiku and tell him, "Oh, please, bye-bye. You're from Cameroon," and he will take and go. But the ordinary Alamajiri, the ordinary Aboki on the street, they will kill and slaughter themselves. They will, the same way we recorded 3.6 million official dead, they will record more than that amongst themselves. Write it down on a piece of paper as I speak. What is the time now? It's getting to a couple of minutes to the top of the hour. But we must continue. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and direct. This is a live presentation, please. Only if your clock or your watch is saying something different, then you know it's a repeat. Now it's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. It doesn't matter where you are. It is 10 minutes to. Be it 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. It's 10 minutes to. That's how you know it's a live presentation. The information that I bring you is not new. The only part that can be said that we introduced is that Atiku became a Nigerian citizen by the sheer force of referendum, which is exactly what I want for Biafra. All I wanted to do was to prove to some ignorant Nigerians, very ignorant, rubbish, demented, backward people, ignorant, and they are quack judges. Quota judge. Oh, it's the turn of Zungeru State. Let's give them one judge. You bring out one idiot who can barely read and write and make the fool a judge. And they'll be there turning the law upside down. Complete upside down. Because they don't know the law. Asking for referendum is not a treasonable felony. After all, that was how Atiku Abubakar became a Nigerian citizen by referendum. Common sense, simple logic. They don't know. They don't have in this UG, in the Angroma. This confirms what we have always known. The fact that they now went to their tribunal to argue exactly the same points that we marshaled out on Radio Biafra is confirmation that Nigerian Asorok, all the judges are listening. They listen, of course they do. Some will pretend and say, oh, darling, I'm going to sports club tonight. They hide in the car. So Radio Biafra. He has tennis racket with him and white short. Okay, bandage. This banner, you think he's going to sports club to go and play tennis? He's gone to his car to listen to Radio Biafra. That is why we preach. They learn from us. And they implement our ideas. You see them building railways. Go and ask anybody in DSS to be truthful. That was what I told them when I was in detention. As a way of reducing massive youth unemployment, that they should embark on railway construction throughout their Nigeria. I told them that. But as clearly as it is shown today, they did not follow exactly everything I told them. That's why they couldn't reduce unemployment or youth unemployment. Ask them, they will tell you. They were asking me ideas, I just gave them one, and they copied it. Today, they have run to tribunal. Senior advocate of Nigeria. Atiku is not a Nigerian. APC tells tribunal. Who told you that? Because you were listening to Radio Biafra. Some idiot said that he's working for APC. I'm going to come to Jubril. You think I've left Jubril? Me leave Jubril. You must be joking. I'll come to Jubril later. All Atiku needs to do is to let the world know. Don't go too far. Two things you need to ask for. The DNA. That if they bring the DNA of the man in Asorok, you withdraw your case from the tribunal. You go to PDP and you say to APC and you say to them, very simple. You want me to withdraw my case? Yes, I agree. I'll withdraw. On two conditions. Go and, no, in fact, on one, because the other one is entirely up to you. You can call a witness on your own. You don't need their consent to do so. Go to them and say, give me a DNA result of the man who is there, and I will withdraw my suit. And I will join you. If they do the DNA on Jubril and it comes out that that thing there is Buhari, I will stop. I'll resign my position as the leader of IPOB. That's how confident I am. This is malpractice. They copy. They are copying from us now, even APC. And I told them that I'll destroy them with the truth. You can't. The thing about the truth is that you want to escape it. You try all you can. You cut all the deals you like to escape it. But they say that the truth is constant. It doesn't. It's just there. It's just there. It doesn't change. You can run away and dance amongst yourselves. Eventually, it is there. So always catch up with you. Always, without fail. Without fail. Do you see that gentleman's agreement they had? Because Atiku knows that Buhari is there. That's the funniest part of it. So what are you waiting for? You saw the way that even till today, Hillary Clinton is fighting Trump. You want to aspire to the highest office in the land, and you did a deal with the devil. It's now time to come up and say to the whole world that that thing there is Jubilee, is from Sudan. Simple, and the case is over. You win your case. And they are the ones hitting you hard, and you're there keeping quiet. Why are you keeping quiet? What for? That deal you made with them, they told you, oh, don't worry, let Jubril finish the tenure of Buhari, and you come in. Has it materialized? They're not gentlemen. They don't keep the agreements. You know, now Jubril is their poster boy. They want to use him to 2099, maybe. They fight very dirty. Very, very dirty, because they know that the world knows that Buhari is dead. Everybody knows. But what if I junk? You know, it's like a computer. The so-called sovereignty, like any junk you put in is junk, you will get out. So if you send a goat to America to say he's Nigerian president, they accept the idiot. They accept the goat. You don't know that? You think Americans should come out and say, "Oh, I'm not going to see you." He's not Buhari. No. International diplomatic protocol requires you to accept whoever is presented to you on behalf of that very state. It's simple logic. Everybody knows that. Perhaps some people in this don't know. They're saying that Atiku cannot successfully sue INEC and Buhari because Atiku is not a citizen of Nigeria by birth. One Yoruba PhD holder, Bumi Awoyemi PhD. You think empty brain. Atiku can sue them as a Nigerian citizen. He will sue them, and the truth will come out. Atiku is not suing them in his capacity as a presidential candidate. He will sue them in his capacity as a citizen of Nigeria, and that's how he won his case. That's a very strong logic that you have to be born a Nigerian. Remember, if you hear or if you read what Premium Times, you know that Fulani online blogging site wrote about me. Unbelievable. They said the secession, no, the terrorist secessionist, there is nothing they didn't call me. But all of you were sleeping. I was the one that told you to refer to this very section. That's what I told you. I told you to refer to it. It wasn't me that wrote it. Every person born in Nigeria before the death of independence, or either of whose parents are one of the belongs to a day. Atiku's parents were not Nigerians at the time that he was born. If you want to use that senseless logic to interpret a very simple constitution that says you must be born. When they were chasing Obama around, did they ask him where his grandparents were from? They asked him, where were you born? It's simple English. If Atiku is not a Nigerian because he was born in Adamawa, when it was part of Cameroon, it follows that those of us born in Biafra land in the east, I don't want to say Eastern Nigeria. It makes me sick. When I say Eastern Nigeria today, tomorrow I fall sick. Those of us born in Biafra land between May 67 and January 1970 are not Nigerians. We are not. And you cannot contest any election for the office, or you can contest, but not for the office of the president of the zoo. What brought about all this nonsense is because there is no country called Nigeria. All that nonsense about, oh, our founding father is garbage. Nobody founded you. You are a British company, Royal Niger Company. You are not a country. You are not a nation. You are a mere geographical expression. You are a contraption. You don't exist. You were created for the exploitative purposes of those that made you. You are not a country. Anybody claiming he or she is a Nigerian is a joke, an absolute pathetic joke. That's who you are. You see, you're not well. Nnamdi Kanu was born in 1904. He was 10 years old before the 1914 Amalgamation Treaty. Obafemi Awolowo was born in 1909, only 5 years old when the so-called treaty was signed. Abubakar Tafawa Balewa was born in 1912. He was only 2 years old. So then who's your founding father? I'm asking you. Our founding fathers. And they want to ask you. Michael Okpara was born in 19... Ahmadu Bello was born in 1910, 4 years old before your so-called zoo was created. Who signed the papers in 1914? Ask yourself that. Nigeria into existence. How did Nigeria come about? Why is it that you lazy youths of the zoo called Nigeria, you can't reason properly? All of you are afraid of oil and gas money from Biafra land. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. We will give you oil and gas for free. We don't need it. Because the greatest resource anybody can have is their brain. We don't need your useless oil and gas on our land. You need it to survive. We don't. Lazy people. Who is my question, signed 1914 amalgamation? That some of you are jumping up and down. I'm a Nigerian. Who signed it? I'm asking you. Very simple question. You can't answer, can you? All the school you went to is all a waste. The problem that you're seeing today happening in the tribunal between Jubril, I will say Abakiari, and the cabal against Atiku started in 1914 because none of you asked any questions. Your so-called doctors, PhD, FFD, MMC, all that rubbish, learned and unlearned, wearing Oyibo horse wig on the head with nothing to show for it. You never asked questions. Now, what's it going on? And you cannot change the law overnight, can you? Those that created you are the British. You are not of your own making. That is why Nigeria is a charade. People are coming now to this realization that the contraption called Nigeria is a joke and a fraudulent entity. No wonder everybody they call it fraud. You're a fraud. You're doing fraud with it. Everything is a fraud because you're a product of fraudulent amalgamation. Fraud. That's why you think everybody else is a fraudster like you. I thank IPOB, to be honest. I thank Chukwuka Abiyama first of all, and then IPOB. I don't know where people came from. People are not of this earth, I'm telling you. Very special people. Fearless, as somebody wrote. Indefatigable. Persistence. The highest order. We are not we change bed. Consistency is your Chineke. I told them that I'll destroy them with the truth. And it's happening before their eyes. I don't care if you love me. Do you think I care? What you do? If you like, release video of me making my wife. That is your business. I don't give a damn. You steal my property. After stealing my property, you go and release what is contained in a stolen property. And you want me to respond to what? You said, I'm here to preach the gospel of Elohim. The world shall know who we are. I told them that Atiku is from Cameroon, or by birth. He's not a Nigerian, please. Don't get me wrong. And has every right to contest more than Jubril. Some of you misunderstood me. But the thing is that APC is using it. Why is PDP not using the fact that Jubril is from Sudan? Do you think it is false? Do you think I will come behind this microphone with divine ordination to lie? Is that what you think? I ask you to think again, because I cannot sit here and lie. It's impossible. I can't do it. When I tell you that Buhari is dead, he is dead. Go and investigate it, is dead. If you want to know if what I'm saying is true or not, let Atiku Abubakar give APC condition. Give me DNA test of the man in Asorok, and I will withdraw from the. You see, PDP should use it, and they should also use the issue of the WAEC certificate, but not with INEC. You and INEC, you're talking nonsense. Go and call the leader or the head man of WAEC under oath to testify if they have Buhari certificate. Because if you do it in a normal court of law, you will have 59 sons come and be talking rubbish. No. Now, all of you waiting to disgrace Buhari, even in his grave in Saudi Arabia. Now is your opportunity. I'm not asking you to file any motion in a court to this. No, simply request under oath, because this tribunal was constituted under law. So it has the weight of a court. Subpoena WAEC to testify. Case closed. I think we'll be declared the winner. They run away overnight. Now on Facebook. Pursuing IPOB when APC is pursuing you. They should emulate IPOB how we dealt with the cabal. And we have to be very resolute and determined and ruthless, or else they will. Nigeria was formed from the Royal Niger Company. It's not a nation. All of you, Nigeria is my country. Shame on you, all of you. Nigeria is not a country. It's an artificial concoction. Anytime you see somebody talking about one Nigeria, feel sorry for that idiot, because their brain is not correct. Even if your pastor says, let's pray for Nigeria, you know your pastor is a rogue and a thief. That is why all of you are miserable. It was Abba Kyari and his cohorts that brought in Jubril to replace Buhari. They failed to understand that even identical twins are not the same and can never be the same. No matter how they try to make Jubril to look like Buhari, he is not Buhari and can never be. I told you how this whole thing happened. I asked the Nigerian journalists, go and check the flight from Nigeria the day that Buhari's unconscious body was flown out of Abuja. That very aircraft made an emergency landing in Casablanca in Morocco to collect a defibrillator. Is that what it's called? You know, the heart pumping machine. Is that correct? That's what it's called. Defibrillator. For their onward journey, nobody investigated. Nothing. Oh, is it Nnamdi Kanu of IPOB? He's mad. Zoo. 75-year-old man. Every year they remove 4 years from him. Look at that small boy you're looking at. Is that thing? Yeah, and 70. So it doesn't even look 70 to start with. That's a young boy you're seeing there. I don't know if they gave him Aisha as well, as part of the compensation. I'm the one that believe in Allah. They do what Allah says. Hypocrites and criminals everywhere. Jubril is a young man. They have it there, but they don't want to use it. That is their business. I am here to speak the truth, as Elohim has commanded me to. But for APC, I feel sorry for them. Their legal team is an absolute and a wretched joke. Only 2 things you need to do. Only 2 things. Place it before the tribunal that the man in Asorok is not Buhari. Give me your DNA result and we will withdraw this case. Secondly, subpoena WAEC, whoever, officer or chairman or whatever. Whatever, I didn't say, the one in Ghana, ask him or her to come and to bring the certificate and come. If they forge any nonsense, you do carbon dating on the paper. You see? If they say, oh, we cannot find the original, you then ask them, where did you copy the result then from? If you don't have the original, where did you copy this one from then? Case collapse. Jubril will be sent. They will stone them to death. Him and Abba Kyari, they will kill them. He was the president VP for 8 years. Is that what they asked you? Have you not read the Constitution? For you to be the president, you have to be born in the zoo. It is the fault of the legislature. Lazy people, they could not sit down to analyze their own constitution to say that this is inadequate. Let's amend it. It's only budget, every year budget, appropriation. They want to buy cotton for 4.4 billion. They want to buy new cars. We the lawmakers of Nigeria. I'm going to let them have our lawmakers. Oh, dear. Unbelievable. It will be very foolish of PDP not to challenge this brazen insult against Atiku by insisting on a DNA test. That is something that they must do. And they must do it very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Because that is the way to fight these people and defeat them. The person in Aso Rock is not Buhari and can never be, because Buhari is dead. Buhari spoke Fulfude fluently. Very simple. You know that Trumpy Yoruba girl that was defending Buhari? Where is she now? Where is she? They said, Nnamdi Kanu has come again. He said, I took this stuff. But you're a journalist, you cannot even investigate. I showed you Jubrin's left ear when he went to see Trump. From Getty Images, the left ear is there, not tampered with. The lobe is intact. I was telling the useless Nigerians, can't you see that this man is not Buhari? They said, no, it is. Maybe the ear grew back as a result of the medicine they gave him in London. Can you believe how this will reason? On that note, we'll bring our proceedings to an end this very evening. But the ball is in the court of those who actually want to win. It's as simple as that. As for us, the coming of Biafra is inevitable. And the role of IPOB in it will be recognized for eternity. I thank you all for listening. When next I will come on air, I will let all of you know. But for now, from me, from here, it is good evening.